As of lately, I've been working on my James Harden build for like maybe a good 2.5 weeks, almost 3, pushing 3 weeks. But I've been getting some DMs from you guys asking, can you drop actual next gen builds with the current gen builds, especially when it comes to the NBA players. I end up doing that for y'all boys. So if you're watching this video and you're here for next gen, it's gonna be a part of the video somewhere to the end or the middle where I'm going to show the next gen build and show you how to make it. But if you need help to find the next gen version of this build, there will be a nice little timestamp or a time guide under the YouTube video to help you find the next gen part of the video. But before we even get into depth into this build, make sure you drop a like on this video and also subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're new, put on post notifications if you haven't. But look, as this James Harden build, you can be point guard or shooting guard. I'm going to be making this build left-handed, or we got the number 13 on us, but this pie chart that I'm using for current gen, it is the mostly green, less blue pie chart. Basically the half and half, but it's more green. So look, as we get the speed pie chart, no other pie chart is no point. Since you only have gold playmaking badges, you want the most speed that you can get on this build. But as James Harden, we know he's a scorer. He's going to be shooting the ball, he's going to be dribbling the ball, and he's going to be taking the ball to the hoop. The thing about it with this build, you're going to lack some type of defense, but you're going to still have some type of defensive badges on this build. As you upgrade the shooting on this build, I maxed out almost everything when it comes to the three-pointer, the free throw. Only thing I did not max was my mid-range. I kept it at 79, and that was to get the name 3-point playmaker. You can get pass first point or pass first guard if you want to, but look, to get a 3-point playmaker, it's not the usual 3-point playmaker with Hall of Fame playmaking, or it's not the 3-point playmaker with more green, less yellow. It's just a 3-point playmaker that has a higher driving dunk and it has decent ball control for you to be able to score and get to the bucket. So look, as a finishing on this build, you have 11 finishing badges. As I maxed out my driving dunk, my driving layup, and my close shot, I get 11 finishing badges with 22 shooting with 16 playmaking badges. But when it comes to defense, as we know, James Harden is not like a really great defender or a crazy defender. So we're going to end up having with 5 defensive badges. He still has the perimeter, he still has our quickness and steal. And then he has 5 defensive badges, so 11, 22, 16, and 5. As we know, you could make this build 6'4" if you really want elite dribble moves, but I'll show you how you can get that, especially with this build right here. But you don't have to be fully 6'4". You can be on the edge of 6'4.5" or 6'4 3/4" to be in 6'5". But I'm going to show you guys how to do that with the metric system. But if you're not using the metric system and you're going to use the 6'5" version of this build, make the build 6'5". Then you're going to end up making the build lowest weight. You can do 200 pounds if you want to be more realistic with the body type, but lowest weight, you want the most speed you can get since you have gold playmaking. So as you not being mainly a Hall of Fame playmaking build, I would prefer you to go lowest weight and just change the body type to maybe burly or built. But if you don't want your build to look like that, it's up to you. But with the wingspan, also based on your preference, if you're someone that knows you're going to get this build to 99 or get this build to 97 just to get the 80 ball control, the pro dribble moves, then make your wingspan 1 notch up so you can have a 76 driving dunk. Then when you get +4, you will have an 80, and then you can pick between shot creating takeover or slashing takeover if you want to do that. So when you get slashing takeover, you can get contact dunks. But if you're someone that wants to have pro dribble moves off the rip, lowering your wingspan might be the way for you. That's the thing. If you're someone that's not going to grind this all the way to at least a 98 to at least get your pro dribble moves to like an 81 or 80, you might want to go as low as wingspan or close to lowest wingspan. 77.9 or even the 78 wingspan are literally the best ones to pick between unless you want lowest wingspan in general. So look, you still can get contact dunks on this build, because if you end up getting this build to 99 and you choose slashing takeover, that +10 of having a 77 driving dunk +10 when it's slashing takeover is crazy. But for all my guys that's going to end up doing the metric system, as you see, I have a build that's 1.95 and a build that's 1.96. The 1.96 build is the 6'5" build. The 1.95 build is the 6'4.5" build. So it's somewhat around the same height, but it's not exactly the same height. But you can get pro dribble moves off the rip. Plus, you can get the ability to have elite dribble moves once you hit 99 overall. If you're someone that needs elite dribble moves, or you like to have elite dribble moves on your build, you will have to make the metric system version of this build. You have the same stats almost, but only thing that's going to be different is your 3-point and your driving dunks are going to be lower. Then you're going to have the 81 ball control. As you see, I'm about to go lowest wingspan. I get 81 ball control when I go to lowest wingspan. But also keep in mind, once you hit 99 on this build, you have a 72 driving dunk +4, that's 76. And if you do choose slashing takeover, you will still get contact dunks in takeover because you will have an 86 driving dunk. But if you're someone that's going to choose shot creating takeover, then you're just looking to score and you're going to get a bucket. But you still have the ability to get great driving dunks on this build. So look. For all the people that's going to make a decision, only reason I would tell you to make the 6'4" is if you want elite dribble moves at 99. But if you don't care to have elite dribble moves, I prefer you to make the 6'5". But out of the 3 variations I showed y'all boys for this build, you could end up still putting sharp takeover and still getting contact dunks. But remember, you have to raise your wingspan up to end up getting an 80 driving dunk at 99. And with the +5, you'll get contact. But since this is a James Harden type build, we're going with the shot creating takeover. That's what I'm rocking with, shot creating takeover. But if you guys do want to end up getting contact dunks on your 3-point playmaker, you can go with the slashing takeover. But as we get the name 3-point playmaker with shades of Devin Booker, James Harden, and Pete Maravich, that's actually very accurate with this build, especially how I built it. It is very accurate. But for all my guys on next gen, I did not forget about y'all. As we make this build a point guard or shooting guard, it does not matter. The build is going to be 6'5". The weight is going to be lowest weight. With the wingspan, you're going to make the wingspan 6'6". As of the body type on this build, I'm going to just make it built because there's no burly, and then Define is going to look too skinny with this build. So we're just going to go with built. And look, when y'all see this, it took me a nice little minute to end up putting this together. Especially the current gen took me about 2.5 weeks to even make somewhat a great James build. But this one, since I was mostly in the lab and I was really brainstorming how I was going to make this, I really only took maybe like 2.5 hours to put this together. Because this build right here, I already know that I'm not going to get a lot of Hall of Fame badges because I'm 6'5". So I'm already expecting me at least try to get the most gold badges that I can. So as I'm upgrading this, I'm going to have an 89.3 and I'm going to have an 81 mid-range. Then with the ball control, we're going to max out ball handle and we're going to max out speed with ball. When it comes to pass accuracy, we had to somewhat sacrifice because we had to get our physicals up. But for defense, I'm going to have an 81 perimeter defense and a 86 steal. As we know, James Harden is not one of the best defenders. I want this build to be at a crazy disadvantage. He's going to be having average type of defense, but especially on this game, you can go a long way with an 86 steal and 81 perimeter defense. My physicals, I decided to end up making my speed max and making my acceleration 90. But now, as you look at the finishing, I have a 84 driving dunk with an 80 driving layup. So I'm able to get contact dunks on this build. But now, as I have a 70 vertical with a 99 stamina, I'm already liking how this build is looking. This is definitely looking like a way better build than how it is on current gen. But hey, you got a whole different build system, so it should look a little better on the next generation game. But with me having a little left over, I decided to raise my perimeter defense just a little to 83. But look, as also only having a few left, I could put it on my free throw, but it's not going to make a difference. That's the only downfall about this build. If you're going to be playing park with this build, okay. But if you end up playing rec or you're playing 5v5 and you got to shoot free throws, this might not want to be one of those that you want to go to the hole and get fouled and shoot free throws. This build might not be the one for the shooting free throws. As you know, on current gen, you're not able to change your takeover. Even though last year you couldn't change it, but on next gen 21 you could. It definitely changed how the game was played, being versatile on the game. As I only have all the offensive takeovers with slashing, shot creating, sharp, and playmaking, this is actually great. Because look, as I want to be James Harden, I can pick ankle breaking shots as my primary if I want to, but in the future, I will be able to change it once I get Mamba Mentality badge. So it doesn't really matter what you put first. But if you're someone that's going to be using this at the park day one, and you just want to hop on the park and hoop, I prefer you to go with sharp takeover, especially if you're someone that ends up shooting the ball a lot. But if you're going to end up driving to the hole, throw the slasher takeover on, because it's not, you can't go wrong with that. I ain't even catch you. You can't go wrong with it, especially if you're someone that know how to time their dunks. You're going to actually go crazy on this build. And even though that you have an 84 driving dunk, if you want to put slash and takeover primary, remember, plus 10 with an 84 driving dunk, now you have a 94. Now you unlock elite contact dunks when you're in takeover. So now you can really get crazy at the rim if you want to. Now you got the ability to shoot the ball and get crazy at the rim. But hey, like I said earlier, if your primary badge, if you don't want to use ankle breaker shots, make sure you use limitless threes or use spot up three. It's up to you. But as we get the name two-way 3-point playmaker, I don't know how 2K gave me the name two-way 3-point playmaker, because even if I raise everything to 75 on defense, it will still end up giving me the name two-way 3-point playmaker. But if you're going to end up making this James Harden build, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, put on notifications if you haven't yet. It been your man ChaMoma, and I'm out, y'all.